Hello, I'm Helen Bradley. Welcome to this video tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to have a look at Lightroom 4 and we're going to create a framed photo with our own name across the bottom, ready for print or web. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how you can create a framing effect like this one in Lightroom. And the nice thing about this in Lightroom is that you can save it as a template so you can use it over and over again. So I'm going to start with a custom package and I'm just going to get rid of everything here and we'll get started. So the first thing to do in the print module in Lightroom is to select what you want to print and how you want to print it. So I'm just going to bring in this panel here. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up landscape paper. If you're working on a Mac you'll have a couple of selectors here, but basically the option that you want to do is to select landscape and the size paper you're using and your printer. So I have that set up here. If you want to print to a JPEG so that you're not going out to a printer, instead you can select to print to a JPEG file and then you can add your own custom dimensions in here and then set it to, for example, 300 ppi, and you can send this then out to a file that you can then print on a professional service, or you may want to take it to the web at that stage. But whichever option you choose, setting up your paper is the first thing to do after you have actually set up or selected that you're going to make a custom package. Now I have this image here on the film strip that I want to use, so I'm just going to drag and drop it into here. That's one of the benefits of using the custom package, is that you can drag and drop, and if you ever find the print module a little bit confusing in Lightroom, I suggest that you select one of these options and focus on learning it, and custom package is probably the easiest and most flexible to use. So I'm just going to drag this out. Now you can see that Lightroom is just making my image fit this placeholder and it will scale it in proportion, so I don't need to worry about any of that. I'm thinking that my image is either wider or taller than this. It's going to be one dimension out, I suspect, and it's obviously wider than the holder, but if I hold the control key down I can just drag it into position, and I want a bit more of her. I want her to be leading us into the photo a little bit more, so I'm just going to put her there. And now we need to look at the thing along the bottom, which is in fact an identity plate. So we can just select here. Now this is the identity plate I've already created, but let's see how we would create one of our own. I'm just going to click in here on this little disclosure triangle and choose Edit. And this allows me to create an identity plate. So I'm just going to delete what's in there and we'll type our own. So I'm going to start by putting caps lock on and choose my font, which is going to be Myriad Pro, and I'm going to choose a sort of dark grey so that I can see it, and click in here and start typing. And then I'm going to save this, so I'm going to save as, and I'm going to call this H. Bradley Photography and click Save. So this means that I can save it and use it over and over again. So I've just clicked and here it is here. And we can size it, scale it if we want to. There's an opacity option here where we can make it more or less opaque, and we can scale it to a big size or a small size and just pull it into position. The other thing that we can do in Lightroom, which is really handy if you don't like the color of the type, you still just create the one text identity plate, but you can override its color here. So for example, we could go and choose an orangey red, perhaps to match the color here. And then that's what our identity plate would be. So we can overwrite the color with whatever color it is that we want. And now we can just print to file, or we can go and print to the printer. So that's how you create this sort of museum framing with your own name in Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. I'm Helen Bradley. Thank you for joining me for the video tutorial. If you liked the tutorial, please click the like button. Please think about subscribing to my YouTube channel so that you'll be advised when new videos are released. And look out for more of my videos and tips and tricks at my website projectwoman.com.